I wrote things down to kind of have a little bit of documentation in case the worst things happen, but I'm going to read it. What if this really happened? What if all the worst things you thought possible were actually happening? When that realization dawned on me, I realized I didn't want to wait around to find out. Had someone been poisoning me, more specifically drugging me to sleep? I wondered to myself after my 4th day of sleep and still being tired. For a while now, I'd been noticing things out of place upon my arrival back home. Damn near every time. I rarely leave my apartment now. I left the apartment, I would always come back to see things had been moved. A few times things were missing, but more often than not, nothing was missing. Instead, I'd find snot all over my guitar, a plunger full of shit when I knew I had left it clean. Like I would never, ever do that. Things pulled out of place like someone was checking to see if I left a camera and not quite putting it back where it went. Little things I noticed because I know how I left things. I know how I do things. Not only do I have a visual memory that lets me recall how items were placed in the room the last time I saw them, but even more than that, there are certain things I do and don't do consistently, like stacking things, for instance. I stack things straight and level. I don't set things down half on top of something else. No, I make sure it's on a flat surface before I start stacking a row. I can't read my handwriting sometimes. I push things back in when I pull them out, and I don't set paintings upside down. I keep things right side up, and I keep items where they are. I don't leave things where they could possibly fall or be damaged, either quickly or over time. No, I try to pack every box carefully and make sure every figurine safely away from the edge, so to speak. I speak only half analogously. I'm not a neat freak. I've just spent years selling antiques, and seeing how things are treated over the years really affects them. I bring all this up because at least 100 times I've seen things out of place when I get back home. First of all, you should know, I never leave the house hardly at all these days, partially because I don't have the energy and partially because I don't want someone in here. The other day when I got home, the whole chair was tipped over and part of it was broken from where someone had stepped on it after sneaking in my apartment through the transom window. I had, ironically, just tightened the screws on this chair 2 days before, so I knew it wasn't like that. Also, I know my cat wouldn't have tipped the chair like that. Just another instance of someone definitely being in here, I said aloud to myself. I kept inspecting to see if anything was missing, but I could not find anything that was gone. Why, I asked myself, would they want to come in here if they aren't stealing stuff? I've been spied on before, and the predator in those cases were men who had a crush on me. These all happened to also be men I rejected romantically. Lately, one of my friend's stepdads has been texting me like he even said directly he wants a relationship with me, and I tried to politely decline, but I still feel as if something sinister is lurking beneath the surface. Especially when I come home and I find things awry. Based on previous experiences, there's really only one viable conclusion I can come to, and that's the conclusion that some creepy man is probably behind this. Now, in this case, in particular, I think he probably has help. There are 2 henchmen he's got working for him. One is